The concept of the slippery slope was introduced to me some years ago by a colleague from New Zealand, Professor Jenny Westgate. It's really all about oxygen reserve. If the fetus doesn't have enough oxygen reserve, it does have various mechanisms that it can bring into play to allow its cells to continue to function adequately. As time goes on along this way, the oxygen reserve will decrease and the fetus will bring into play various mechanisms, such as, first of all, tachycardia is a very obvious way to get further blood moving around the system and deliver oxygen to the brain if there isn't enough there at the time. Or another thing that the fetus can do is to extract more oxygen from the actual blood that's arriving. Hemoglobin is designed to give up its oxygen in different situations. A very, very important concept is the one of blood flow redistribution. That if there isn't enough oxygen for cells in the brain, for example, to function perfectly, the fetus may redistribute its blood from the peripheral circulation. Blood flow redistribution is a very clever way of allowing more blood to be available to the cells, but there is a downside. That is, as more blood is directed towards the brain, the blood pressure itself will elevate significantly, and so the fetus needs to slow its heart rate to compensate for the increased blood pressure. So whenever we see blood flow redistribution, there is a corresponding slowing of the heart. Next thing that can happen is that if the cells are really short of oxygen, anaerobic respiration can come into play. We've discussed this in another section, and you will already realize that anaerobic respiration can be life-saving for the cells, or indeed allow the cells to function properly, but the drawback is the production of acidic lactic acid, which leads to a metabolic acidemia. And if this metabolic acidemia accumulates, we may even get death or permanent organ damage. So the idea of the slippery slope is for us to try and imagine at any one time where on the slippery slope the particular fetus would be, and if it's in a particular place on the slippery slope, you can think of perhaps the mechanisms that are going on to compensate at the time.